What's up, guys? Sub-Zeric here, back for another VOD review. This is my first VOD review after actually being back from vacation, so this is going to be my first VOD review of patch 14.18. I'm sure you guys have already played some games on the new patch, and it's pretty crazy. There's a big shift in like a lot of the champions that exist out there, a lot of the meta, some new reroll comps coming into focus. I did that, not really VOD review, but VOD yesterday where I showed Soju playing that like Blitzcrank Ziggs reroll setup. And today I want to focus on another new reroll comp that has emerged based on the changes that have happened this patch. So I'm hyped to see how Dishsoap ends up in that comp and yeah, what this game looks like, because this is a comp that I need to learn, certainly, especially because I'm about to go play tournament in probably like under an hour from when this video comes out. I'm going to be in Tacticians Trials number 2, playing against a bunch of really good players. All right, first augment here. So standout options so far, we can do a stats check on these using tft.op.gg/metatrend/augments to go look at some augment win rates here. I just wanted to see, and I'll filter this as well for say like GM plus, because I want relatively good stats. Double down is something that was pretty solid last patch. Yeah, still looks like a solid 4.2. Trade sector I remember not being very good. Yeah, 4.75. So we reroll and look like we're going to default to the double down, but then we get raining gold as an option, which is kind of like double down. It's probably, yes, that's a 4.33, so a little bit worse than double down, but does give you a little bit more flexibility, and then you also get to reroll this this double down here if you want to go for it. I don't know. It's actually kind of an interesting question. Would you take double down here? I like what Dishsoap's doing a lot here in scouting the lobby and seeing, okay, like how contested for a loss streak would I be if I played double down here? I don't actually see too much as far as double down contesting. Nobody with like Fortune Favors the Bold or anything, but I think Dishsoap is afraid that maybe his lost streak might get contested. So I'm just going to take Raining Gold here. And he has an Ezreal, and so we are going to potentially look at this game at playing around this new Ezreal reroll comp. So this is something that kind of started becoming a thing at the end of last patch. A lot of people talking about like the frontline Ezreal tech, which really wasn't that much of a tech, honestly. It's looking at a lot of the people who were trying it out looked like more of a noob trap than anything. It's something that you could certainly play if you like Giga High rolled your spot for it, but overall not very good. But Ezreal got changed this patch. He now only blinks when he's kind of in danger, so he's not like wasting time doing that. And he also does a lot more damage to the first unit that he hits. He also has like AD AP scaling now, so something like a Shojin on him makes a good amount of sense because you're getting that double scaling. So Ezreal looks a lot better this patch. Interesting to see what Dishsoap wants to do here, because he could make 20. Yeah, he is okay. Gonna make 20 here and sell off the Tristana pair. Tristana is going to be some of our early game. She's going to be Blaster when we level up, which could be coming very, very soon. So it's interesting to see, like, okay, what's our level up going to be now? I guess Dishsoap's idea is that Witchcraft would still be a solid level up. Scholar wouldn't even be that bad of a level up. So we don't necessarily need Blaster. Honestly, Witchcraft would probably be a better level up here than Blaster here. So yeah, we're just going to pre-level and then play whatever we end up hitting here. I think this makes a lot of sense. But you can see we already have this Ezreal with a sword attached onto him, which can be IE, which is, one of obviously Ezreal's signature items, because so much of his damage is coming from his cast. So something like IE makes a lot of sense on him. A lot of people talking about different builds for him. A lot of people talking about like double IE. Looking at the stats, double IE didn't look that insane to me, but something like IE Shojin Hodge looks pretty good as well. Just straight up damage seems solid as well. There is a glove here if he wants it. There's also another sword here. It looks like, did he end up actually going for cloak there? Interesting. All right, well, we'll see what he ends up doing with the cloak. We do pick up a Rumble, which is a really, really nice pickup here. One of the better units, and he's going to make the Spark. Okay, interesting. This is something that I just watched K3 Soju play a game where he was playing this comp, and there is, mixed magic damage. Ezreal is physical, right? Or is it? Oh, okay, so the first enemy takes magic damage. So he has AP 80 scaling, and his damage is also mixed. Okay, so yeah, the big amount of like burst damage that it does to the first target is magic damage. Okay, so yeah, that makes sense then that Spark is something that people are kind of prioritizing. Ooh, there's also a Rise here, which, could transition this into a Rise game. Dishsoap has to make the call here if he wants to potentially play around Rise or if he wants to still keep the idea of playing around Ezreal. He's just going to play this board for now, hold on to the Ezreal currently, and yeah, just hold on to Ezreal pair. I like this a lot. Keep the option for Rise open. The only scary thing is we're on a 3 streak here, and I mean, I guess our board got stronger playing around Rise. I'm not actually 100% sure if that's true. Rise still 2.2k. Maybe that board is stronger. But okay, now with Ezreal too, I think we can really say like, yeah, we're gonna play around this. Also, really smart from Dishsoap here. Uses the remover to pop off the sword from Ezreal. This is a new change this patch if you guys haven't been playing around it, where when you kill your first minion during Krugs or during any minion round, it's going to give you a remover guaranteed. All right, sword, belt. I mean, I imagine then we'll certainly play around Ezreal. Seems hard to play around Rise with all these swords. This is like one of the reasons why as well that you play sort of flexibly. You hold on to the Rise and the Ezreal because, imagine we end up in a world where we get like Rod drop. Then it's like really, really hard to end up playing around Ezreal. But since we're sword here, we can make the DB slam, put it onto Ezreal. Like I said, a solid item on Ezreal. You would love something like Shojin IE, of course, but it's not very realistic for you to like greed those components super, super long. So this makes sense. And boom, look at that Ezreal damage, 2,800. A lot of physical in there. So I'm interested in seeing what the damage chart looks like after every fight to see what the mix looks like. So far, it doesn't look like Spark is doing too much, but we'll see. Augment here. Okay. The Razor Crowd is actually probably not bad in this comp. Just because of the fact that you're playing Ezreal, you're playing Hwei, you're usually playing Mordekaiser. I don't think there's another 3 cost that you would normally fit, just looking at the 3 costs. I don't think there's another one that you can fit, like Hecarim down the line for maybe like Arcana, but I mean, that's like, yeah, it would be like Hecarim maybe on level 9 or something, but that's, or, yeah. Yeah, maybe 3's a crowd. All that shimmers, it was very strong. Actually, I'm down to do a stats check on all that shimmers as well here. Let me just look at this real quick. All that shimmers. Okay, so not amazing after the changes to it. Yeah, 4.63, just not so good anymore, especially after all these nerfs to the mole's mail so much. Ooh, but looks like not at all interested even in that. I'm surprised we actually pulled in the Shapeshifter Crest over this. Maybe he has some kind of idea with Shapeshifter Crest, because I would have actually defaulted to that last option. Big Grab Bag I think is probably a solid pickup. So many Shapeshifter augments here. But yeah, Big Grab Bag seems solid here because this is a comp that uses a lot of items. You're very often itemizing Ezreal, you're itemizing a Mordekaiser as your main tank, and then a Hwei as a secondary carry. So you kind of need like 9 completed items to really be full items in this comp. So I think this makes a lot of sense. Are we gonna make something here? Interesting, because like you can't really, I would think, make a redemption. I would like it maybe even a reforge here. I think he's just going to hold on to this belt here. I wonder what cloak is, like what cloak item he's holding out for. Because you could reforge cloak, but maybe he wants some kind of offensive item to come out of cloak. I guess we'll see. Because, reforging cloak, if you hit something like a sword or some kind of belt component, then you could make a belt item. The only other thing with belt is that it's like we've already built a Warmog tier. So then like what is this belt item going to become? Because like I doubt we're going to build like a Sunfire. I don't know. I'm interested to see where items go this game because this is actually a pretty awkward itemization setup in my opinion. But yeah, 89 HP. You can see the power of something like an Ezreal 2-star here doing 4k like every single fight. Looks like so little of this damage is magic that, the spark isn't really for Ezreal. It's more for Hwei, who is going to be our duo carry down the line when you play this comp. So it's a little bit Ezreal, but it's really mostly Hwei. Ezreal looking like he does very little magic damage. Item wise here, we're looking like we're going to go for a giant spell here and just go for a Morello's, or a rod there is what that item is called, but it pairs with the giant spell to make a Morello's if you're interested. I mean, Morello's solid Hwei item, so that's what I would imagine this is going to be. I don't think we'd go for Archangels here. And I like this what Dishsoap's doing here as well. We're still not hard committed to anything necessarily. This doesn't have to be an Ezreal game. So we're scanning the rest lobby and seeing, there's that person who has items onto a Varus. So like maybe that person, probably not going to pivot into Ezreal, but maybe they're going to hold some of our units. So, he's not full committed to anything quite yet. And this is why Dishsoap is so good, right? He's making sure that, his outs exist. He is not hard committed to anything at this point. He has now a Tristana too, so he could potentially play for 4 Blaster if he wants to, and would be pretty solid onto his board. But yeah, just countless rounds that he's spending scouting here. Looks like you're just going to play the Trist here, yeah, and not actually try to get into 4 Blaster, because that would require us to drop out of Portal or something solid. And yeah, now at this point, we have all these units to start. He's going to say, okay, this is definitely like at the point where I'm saying, okay, I'm uncontested here. I have 3 Ezreals already. I have I've naturaled like basically all of the units that I want so far. Just want as much as gold to roll on 7 as possible, and now we are going to be pre-leveling here and rolling on 7 and just full pivoting into the board here. Yep, this looks very solid, and yeah, he actually is just going to full pivot the entire board in. Needs to pick up a final Vanguard unit, ideally the Mordekaiser, and then that's going to be his board. I like this a lot. It makes the pivot very, very smooth. Keep your options open a little bit here, though he does have to start stemming some stuff. Okay, there's a Varus, which is a solid extra unit to play. We need that last Vanguard in the Mordekaiser, right? We're 5 Blaster right now, which is not ideal. There's the Mordekaiser finally. Now we can start putting items down. Ooh, we're going to itemize Rumble here over the Mord. Gets an IE that he's going to make over the Shojin, and then this is going to be the Morello like we talked about. Reforge Rod here, and then make a final offensive or a final tank item onto the Rumble here, and then the Ezreal is just going to hold on to tier for potential Hodge, potential Shojin. I mean, I like this a lot. We're holding the Monkey, actually, which is interesting. I don't think we're playing around this. Maybe it's just a thin out pool a little bit. Boom, last augment here. Not today, doesn't seem great. Capricious could throw it onto something like a random Rumble, but I'm not that excited for it. I mean, third augment Martyr can't be that bad, right? I mean, Martyr is an augment that, used to be insane like a long time ago. It's fallen off a bit. Capricious is certainly, I think, the better augment just in a vacuum, but I think Martyr might be better in our spot here. Probably not gonna be a Row Rejuve. Okay, it is just gonna be Capricious here, just because it's a better item, and maybe, okay, maybe there's an idea of putting it onto, I mean, my thought here is that these Rumble items are going to end up on Mordekaiser. We have a remover. We're guaranteed, this remover and then another remover. Let's see. You had no bench space. I don't know what he's... he apparently said something because his entire Twitch chat is responding to something that he said. But yeah, Capricious is going to go onto Galio for now, with the idea being that we're going to probably move that later. My thought is that it's going to end up on Rumble. Maybe, there are ways to fit extra units onto this comp later down the line. So maybe we'll end up playing around that. We'll see. But yeah, okay. Oh, a couple of free rerolls is nice. Okay, yeah, now we're going to move items over to Mordekaiser. I like this a lot. Yeah, I'm surprised, actually, that he ended up Capricious and Galio. I would imagine Capricious, Blacksmith's Gloves. You can do a little Explorer check if you're interested for that kind of stuff. Go to Explore here and just type in Blacksmith's Gloves here, and then look for unit-wise who this does well on. I'm interested, like, Rumble versus Galio here. I mean, it actually, wow, it likes it a little bit better on Galio here. This is obviously, we're not filtering this at all, but okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, actually, no. You have to go to here. Rumble, Galio. There we go. Okay, yeah, if you look at under items, this is just units that are played with Blacksmiths, but this is actually putting it on these units, and it says about the same. Okay. But, I mean, for both, it says not amazing. Yeah, this is why I was a little bit afraid of the Capricious take, but, maybe we'll get some uses out of it. Right now, it looks pretty bad onto this this Galio. I don't know, maybe you can throw it. I'll throw Tom Kench into this filter as well. Maybe TK uses it. He uses it, I mean, not amazingly, and, like, it's not like we're gonna... I mean, maybe the idea is, like, Smolder down the line. Yeah, Smolder looks pretty good, statistically, so that's the idea, I guess, is hopefully later we can pick up a Smolder, throw it onto Smolder, and then we'll be feeling really good. That's the hope, I would say. All right, with basically all of our items done onto Ezreal and Mordekaiser, we're just looking for Hwei items at this point. Something to get him casting would be nice. Giant's Belt for Nashers, or maybe a Cloak for Adaptive Helm here. He's just going to take the Giant's Belt here, which I imagine is going to be for Nashers. Though Nashers tends to obviously pair very well with a mana item. You want to get the unit casting, and then Nashers is actually going to give you that mana. So yeah, it's a little rough right now. All right, gonna roll down here. Also, Dishsoap keeping a little bit the possibility of hitting a Rumble 3 open, but the second that he needs to sell these Rumbles for Econ, he sells them off, knowing that, yeah, I mean, we're pretty far off Rumble 3, and with this amount of gold, even though we took an Econ Augment here, we just haven't hit that hard. So yeah, we're not really going to be looking for something like a Rumble 3 this game. It's just probably not going to happen. He just sold... What did he sell there? Did he sell? Oh yeah, he sold the Varuses. This is something also that I was thinking about. Varus, especially with no items, I don't think is really going to do that much on this board. And like I said, Smolder is going to be the replacement down the line. So I think this makes a lot of sense. Just rolling basically for a charm every round. Sticky Finger's really expensive, so he's going to opt to actually skip that. And the idea is that, like, we really don't need that many more components this game. So yeah, we're actually going to stop here with no charm, which, like, feels really, really bad. Also, I don't really like where our Galio is. He's not Eternal Wintering anyone. Maybe we just want to keep Galio safe for the first cast, but I think this is just like a, well, you know, you can't get perfect positioning every round. Fighting a Gwen and a Bard. Gwen is, I think, been a very maligned unit this patch so far. I think so many people are talking about Gwen as if she's like the worst unit in the game. I think what I've seen so far is that Gwen is really not that bad. They did change Gwen's targeting, and so the way Gwen works now is she prioritizes survival a lot more than prioritizes damage. She is usually only snipping like one target, and she's, you know, dashing to save some HP. Pick up a Xerath here, who could be our Arcana level up here. That was a lot of gold, but really not that relevant for us. Another Ezreal is good. We're gonna pop this here, looking for, I guess it's going to be Nashers for the Hwei. You're going to pick that up. And ooh, actually, that's a fantastic charm for us to get a bunch of free rerolls here. This could get us to potentially a Hwei and maybe some more Mordekaisers. But if we hit a Hwei really, really soon here, then we're probably looking at just not just pushing levels from here. Now we find another Mordekaiser. So this is where it starts to get like a little bit iffy. The idea is that, like, you know, if we continue to roll and we find like a 7th Mordekaiser before another Hwei, then we're probably looking at Mordekaiser 3. If we don't, then we're probably looking at pushing levels. So I'm interested to see how Dishsoap does this. Salvager, this augment always like looks good. Ooh, there is the smolder, which is really, really nice. We do have the remover to move the gloves over if we want to. I have to imagine that's the play here because I don't think it's doing much on Galio. Maybe the idea, I mean, maybe these items are like okay on Galio for a turn, but I do certainly think the second that we get any kind of solid gloves items, we can just throw it onto Smolder. It is a Smolder 1, so, you know, maybe Dishsoap won't even move the items just because he has no faith. But look at this Ezreal, man. Oh my god. Healing so much with the Hodge. That's why you go Hodge on Ezreal, by the way. 15k damage there. You can see the power. There's another Mord, so I think this is going to, I was going to say, like, trap us in playing for Mordekaiser 3, but it's not really a trap. It's kind of cool because hitting Mord 3 is definitely the way that you win games with this comp. This comp certainly, if you're just stuck on like Ez3, Hwei 3, has trouble you know, winning games just because you're gonna have no frontline, and Ezreal likes frontline and Hwei likes frontline. Every comp in TFT usually likes frontline. But you can see here, like a fight versus this board here, this guy's board doesn't necessarily even have that much damage, but it just blows up our frontline because we're stuck on these 1-stars. Though it looks like we might already be able to farm a free top 4 here, force in Smurf account down to 2 HP. Looking for last Hwei item here. Adaptive Helm looks fantastic if we can get it. There's a Vanguard +1 as well, but I can't really see us taking that. And we do get the Adaptive Helm, which is nice. Vanguard +1 would be kind of nice if we were thinking about going 9, but that's pretty hard to do in this spot. I think we are going to be stuck, or to level 8, I mean. But we're probably gonna be stuck rolling. I was gonna say stuck rolling for this for a long time, but Dishsoap actually opts to make the level here to get Arcana in. What's the Arcana damage amp right now? Because we're decently far into the game. I know we hovered it there for a second. 6%. I mean, next round it's gonna be 8% after we buy a charm. I'm actually pretty surprised by this play. I don't think I would have done this. 6% damage amp on this, you know, to level up here. I mean, you obviously get the Xerath on your board, which, you know, gives you the possibility of getting those Ascendant charms, but I would have thought that Mordekaiser 3 was more important. Maybe he scouted something and saw that there were Mordekaisers out, and he thought that it would not be possible for him to hit Mordekaiser 3 in this spot. I mean, the other idea might be potentially that he knows that, like, he is not going to win out this game. He sees this person who's a golden quest and just says, you know what, I need to save as much HP as possible, so I'm just going to guarantee spike my board. But, like, I don't know. That's actually a surprising play to me. I wonder why Dishsoap went for that there. I mean, boom, and Ascendant charm, but we can't really buy it at this point. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much you can do with that charm. We had to take an Econ charm here, which feels pretty bad. So yeah, well, I mean, it is a top 3 that we have farmed already, which is, oh, actually, I think, yeah, wait. We can actually go back and talk about this. This is something that I think is still currently unfixed. Yeah. That's actually so tragic. Okay, I just realized what happened because I saw his Twitch chat talking about it and I was just sitting here watching this. This is a bug that exists in the game currently where sometimes the winning board just bugs out here and pretends that a win is a draw. And so what happened here is Force and Smurf account was going to win the game, but his board bugged out and he had a draw, which results in both players taking damage. So great for Dishsoap. He gets a free top 3 for a game that was probably already going to be a 4th, but horrible for Force and Smurf account because he was actually going to win the lobby. Oh, I'm about to go play in tournaments. Mort Dog, please do not do that to me in tournament. I don't know how that bug even happened, but it is a giga game-breaking bug that, I mean, unless they come up with some kind of C patch fix for it, we're probably going to be stuck with for like this whole patch. We are fighting a Smolder 2 with a Pyro emblem, so I think, are we actually 1 here, or is that delayed damage when we're dead? Looks like we're actually won here. Okay, great. Perhaps, I mean, honestly, this level up may have actually saved us, putting us at 1 HP here. He is going to use the remover before minion round. Very smart from Mr. Soap here to make sure that he's going to get the perfect, the most usage out of this possible. There is the remover, of course, so now, we get that remover for free. We're going to roll down here, try to pick up a solid, unstable treasure chest. Okay, I mean, it's not horrible, I guess. Look for... Whoa, aren't we checking what these gloves are before we slam it? Okay, whatever. I mean, these are probably fine on TK, and then we can throw static shiv. Yeah, I mean, it's redundant shred, but sometimes redundant shred is good. We're gonna fight Prestivant again here, which seems pretty tough. Also, yeah, I mean, this treasure chest I don't think does that much. Ooh, Mordekaiser actually popped off a bit there. This is actually a much closer fight than I thought. I thought this fight was gonna be a free loss, but actually a relatively close fight. But yeah, going to be a third from Dishsoap. I mean, a solid performance in what was a stacked lobby. Showed off how this comp can do well. Even without hitting Mordekaiser 3, I think if we had Mordekaiser 3, we would have won a lot of those late game fights, but he just ended up getting stuck on Mordekaiser 2, which is just the way that it happens sometimes. And also, I would say get to show off, but we can talk. We got to talk about that bug, which seems very bad. I hope that is not very common, because that looked pretty bad. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please, do everything, like, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Go sub to my VOD channel if you guys haven't already. The link's in the description down below. Go join my Metafy group. They're running back their competition where every week they see who can get the most signups. So if you guys go sign up under me, then I would greatly appreciate it. And then come check me out when I'm playing in the cup or the trials. Hopefully I can get to the cup later today. Yeah, all right. See you guys later. Bye.